Hi everyone, we are Group 1 and we chose to interview Stephen Tokofsky, who owns RAL Services, an insurance broker company. Stephen owns the health insurance side of the business, while his partner owns the property, plant, and equipment side. Stephen built his company from the ground up by prospecting clients. He still works at this successful company today.
Hello everyone, I'm Stefanos Sophocleous, and here are some of the things our entrepreneur shared with us. Stephen's first professional job was a captain in Marine Corps in May 1987, and then when he got out of the Marines, he started as a sales rep for US Healthcare in June of 1993. Also, we asked Mr. Stephen when he started thinking about to open his own venture. After seeing the brokers making commission, he started thinking to break off the US healthcare and open his own venture so he can start making commission instead of being salary based with quotes to meet every month. Another question was creating a startup difficult? According to him, the startup was difficult because he had to put a lot of work in, but he also had the means of doing so. He saved money from US healthcare and got several months ahead on car and mortgage loans so he wouldn't be in debt. Also, his wife made enough money to support them in order to go out on his own and put money into the business. We asked Mr. Stephen what is the most difficult part of his job, and he says constantly worrying about if government makes it impossible for private insurance brokers. In other words, a socialist economy where insurance is free, he would be out of a job.
One question that we asked our entrepreneur was if he had to start over, did he think that his experience now would make him more successful in starting a new venture? And he said that since he had experience as a sales rep in US healthcare, this had been in the past the best route for him to have success as an entrepreneur. And now that he had even more experience there and knows the ins and outs of health insurance, that combined with the work ethic to be an entrepreneur would make him successful. We also wanted to know if he started with the desire to go into his own business or if he saw an opportunity and went on from there to develop his venture. And he said that since he was working at US Healthcare, he saw brokers making commission every time a client paid their invoice. And he saw that as an opportunity and he struck out on his own to be a broker instead of a sales rep. That way, the harder he worked, the more he could directly increase his success. We also asked how he decided to separate himself from his competition. And the things that he did were making himself available at all times, answering every phone call, whether he was in the middle of having dinner or if it was 9 o'clock at night, and walking clients through details of their policies that they didn't understand, helping them understand what their options were, and overall really making sure that people understood that he was providing the best service he could and the best service that they would get anywhere, and getting those people to realize the quality of service that he provided and giving him referrals. And he said that compared to the competitors he had, what really led to his success was him working those extensive hours and putting in all that extra time and work because he has a hard work ethic and he used that to make sure that his customers got the best service, and whether it was a large group or just an individual, he put in the same amount of time and provided the same amount of service, and that is really what led to him having more success than competitors who wouldn't necessarily have done the same.
Hi, my name is Wei Chen Shi. We asked Mr. Stevens that, is there any time or moment makes you want to give up your business? If yes, how did you overcome it? Mr. Stevens said no, he wouldn't and haven't ever wanted to give up his business anytime. He makes decent money and has a stable clients list with good hours. He splits his time in the office and at home, which is what he enjoy. And he is also helping people get insurance and help them in a good time of need in areas most people don't understand. The business also helps provide for his family, so the business is rewarding in all aspects. Other question is, what is some advice for someone who wants to start up their own business? He said that starting your own business takes hard work and dedication. It doesn't come easy even if it is your passion. To become successful, you have to put in a lot of overtime hours, do your own research, and be determined. Starting your own business is all on your shoulders, so it is up to you to be successful.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Kowicki, and I'm just continuing on with the interview of Jamie's dad, Steven Tokowski. My first question was, what kind of things do you look for in an employee at a health insurance firm? He says, to be an employee at a health insurance firm, one must take multiple tests in order to get certified in selling each type of insurance policy. You must also have good people skills, since it is a sales type position, along with good time management, because there are deadlines for everything in insurance, such as renewals and handing in paperwork to the government. My next question was, what are your greatest failures in business and what have they taught you? And he says, never take a client for granted. Never think a client will not be interested in something because someone can show them what you didn't, and you can lose a client in that way. My next question was, when did you make the important decision to choose your career path, and was it different than anything you had done before? He says he went to school majoring as a chemical engineer, thinking this was the right path for him because he was good in math and science. He entered the Marine Corps in order to pay for his college education. Then after graduation, he had to do his time in the service. After getting out, he worked for the U.S. healthcare. As you can see, each thing he did was unlike something he had done before. And once he saw brokers making commission while he was not as a sales rep for another company, he decided to go out on his own in the same industry. My last question was, are you happy with the venture? If not, what would you change? He is very happy and proud of his venture and happy to watch his success grow and grow over the years. But if there was one thing he wishes he could change, is that his career is not determined by the government. If the wrong person enters the office and changes the economy to a socialist economy with free healthcare, he would be out of a job. Thank you.
Hi, this is Brooks, and for Group 1, we asked Mr. Steven in regard of how entrepreneurship is like in the real world. Do you actively seek business opportunity investment, or do you adjust with the market to determine your operation? Mr. Steven said that he is constantly looking for referral to gain more clients, but currently he is maintaining his client and giving them the best service he can because health insurance policies change on a year-to-year basis, so he has constantly to update his current client month-to-month and year-to-year depending on the period and enrollment. So he had to constantly adjust to the market as well as the current relicense as well as new product every year. Second of all, do you agree that it's better to do something practical, including entrepreneurship, rather than something passionate? Steven replied with, either way, you should be passionate about the job, otherwise you won't be as successful as it is. You won't be. If you're working somewhere that is practical but you are miserable, you won't be able to grow, and you won't be able to stay at. You're only able to stay at your current level. The key is to find your passion and to figure out how to make your job something and that's practical in today's society and market.